that's a tool called ScienceDirect AI. And we believe that's going to make a real difference to scientists, both in academia, but in corporate, in terms of making them a lot more efficient and speeding them up. Because for corporates, they've got incredible, valuable resource there with, researchers with enormous brains, enormous capability, but they want them to be doing that brain work and not just busy work. And today, research is doing a lot of that busy work.
So tell us how AI is going to change how you guys operate then, and the value you can offer your customers. What kind of stuff are you? I understand you're working on a few new products and services at the moment. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me take a step back and maybe just give a little bit picture of the sort of things our customers do today, and then how AI will help them, and our products will help them. So,
sure.
For those people who are working in research and development, a researcher, our tools today support them across the whole research and development lifecycle, all the way from ideation, idea generation, where shall I invest my time in terms of new research, all the way through to, post-launch monitoring of, maybe it's drugs, safety, and sort of things that they need to monitor post-launch. But if I take the first bit, the idea generation, that is an enormous amount of time that is spent on that. And it's an incredibly valuable step, actually, both in academia, but also in corporate, because no researcher science doesn't stand on its own. A piece of scientific research doesn't stand on its own. I think it was Isaac Newton who said that scientists, stand on the shoulders of giants. Everything is built on the research that came before it. And so for a researcher, before they start looking at where am I going to go, they need to know what research has already been done. So there's a lot of work that goes into scanning the scientific literature, peer-reviewed literature, to identify what has been done in a particular field, what hasn't been done, what experiments have already been done, what's worked, what hasn't worked. And researchers will spend an enormous amount of time scanning that literature. And that literature base is growing significantly each year. So each year there are millions of new scientific articles that are published. And so researchers work in this sort of sea of information, trying to sift through it to find a sweet spot for where they're going to invest their time to make a new discovery. So that's today we can sell them databases and content sets, but they're still having to do that search and discovery. What we've been investing in is applying AI to those content sets to really speed up the work of the researcher. So let me make that real. Instead of, a normal search, if I can call it that, of the literature and getting a long list of, hundreds of articles, we're able to do that with natural language search to find a much more finely tuned set of articles that actually answer the question, not just the topic name or what have you, answer the question, summarize those articles, and then to do some really cool stuff, like take those articles and actually provide a comparison of the experiments that are actually documented in those articles, which is actually a piece of work. Talking to researchers, they can spend weeks and months doing themselves by hand today, and actually we can get that done for them in a matter of minutes. So that's a tool called ScienceDirect AI, and we believe that's going to make a real difference to scientists, both in academia, but in corporate, in terms of making them a lot more efficient and speeding them up. Because for corporates, they've got incredible, valuable resource there with, researchers with enormous brains, enormous capability, but they want them to be doing that brain work and not just busy work. And today, research is doing a lot of that busy work.
Yeah, absolutely.
ScienceDirect AI is now the newly powered AI product. And we've similarly taken each of our products today and added AI functionality to them over the last year and launched them. So we have a product called Scopus AI, which scans not just our articles, but the whole world of science. And then we have specialist tools in life sciences, where we've recently released a tool called Embase AI, which is more specifically focused on literature in the life sciences domain, which is quite pertinent for pharma companies in corporate world.
Yeah, sure. So these products then, are they based on your own large language model that you've trained then, or are they plugged into sort of models like, you know, Claude or whatever, or have you built it all yourself?
No, so we're not a builder of large language models. So we're very clear. We license the large language models, but what we do is build the technology of how to apply the large language model to our content to get a better answer. Because today, a large language model standing alone is what it is. It's a language model. It's not necessarily a truth model. And actually, we believe that the level of trust that someone can put in a product and a service goes up a lot more if they understand the content set that it's being applied to. So we're using our own technology, combining the language model, our existing databases, our content, to be able to provide these results for the researchers.
Sure. So in terms of the output then that your customers are getting from these products, how are you sort of making sure that they're providing the right information to your customers? Do you know what I mean? How do you like regulate that so that it's being cross-checked and it's not hallucinating like what we see ChatGPT doing quite a lot, you know? What measures do you have in place to ensure that it's providing the right output?
So there's a few things. So number one is, I would say, with the language model, applying a language model, you can never be 100% sure that there's no hallucination.
Of course.
But what we can say is that the way that we apply it really reduces the risk of that. So we use what we call, RAG technology to actually look at the content that we have, to search it, to return, using the natural language search, the right content sets, and then to summarize just those content sets. So it's not asking the large language model to go away and answer the question. The large language model is interpreting the question from the user. It's then searching for the right content. Once it's got the right content, it's then summarizing that content. And it's making available at all stages a link to that content so that the researcher themselves can check back and make sure that what they're getting is backed up by a scientific article. And of course, they can then click through to that and find that in the database as well. Yeah. I mean, this is a really important question. And as we look forward, I do think trust is a really important part of the journey when it comes to AI. And I think the ability to have tools that people can trust are going to be incredibly important. We've built over a number of years our own responsible AI principles at RELX, because before generative AI, we were using machine learning or extractive AI as well in different contexts, to extract knowledge from documents and for some of our products. And so as part of that, we'd already built a 5-point set of principles. They're things like, making sure that there's always a human in the loop, making sure that we understand the real world impacts of AI, making sure that we're responsible when it comes to, privacy and data governance, those sort of things. And, those are well embedded in us as an organization. I think they stand us in good stead, as well as the way that we apply the technology in terms of the trust in the answer.
Yeah. Are you seeing sort of clear results now that your customers are getting in terms of accelerating the R&D process then? Because these products, these tools, have not been around for that long. I'm talking like sort of from hypothesis generation through to experimentation or discovery or whatever. Are you starting to see your customers saying to you, wow, we're doing things, what would take us 3 years is now taking us a year, or maybe 6 months? Have you got any case studies that, or anything that shocked you in the last couple of years, Stuart?
I wouldn't say shocked me. I think, each stage of adding technology has sped up processes, right? And this is just another one of those steps. And I'm not at all surprised to see the productivity gains that we are seeing. So you're right to say we've only put these AI tools in the hands of our customers over the last few months. So we haven't seen a whole, if you take something like a drug discovery process, that's a matter of months and years. So we can't look back and say, well, we've helped a company get a drug to market that much more quickly. But what we can say and what we can see is the impact on an individual researcher's workload and efficiency. And for them, they're telling us things like, it saved me, 30% of my time, 50% of my time, so that I can focus on different things and get on with the next stage of the process.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite exciting, though, isn't it? That, these things, I mean, some of this is certainly around drugs discovery and anything in the sort of medical field. These tools are going to surely cultivate so much more innovation because so much is going to be covered by automation now.